This is Big Sky Crypto with another Bitcoin update. I did my last update on October 27th, which is about right here. And over the next 2 days, Bitcoin really took off, came up within I think about $240 or so of the all-time high. And you can see over the last, 6 days, it's pulled back now, which isn't too surprising. I didn't feel like Bitcoin was just, or the price was just going to blast through and set a new all time high. Kind of expected this to happen. You can see the golden cross here. That's kind of why I did the last recording. And actually, if we go back and look here at this red line is the 2017 all time high, and this is in like November of 2020. You can see the price approaches the all-time high right here and is rejected, and get a decent size rejection. I think it was about 17, yeah, around 16, 17%, about 17, I guess. And came back up. It actually did exceeded the 2017 all-time high here, both of these 2 days, just barely, just by a little bit, and then pulled back again, went sideways before finally on December 16th it finally broke out and then really took off. But looking at a period of I think from November 24th, I think it's about 22 days or so before it finally really broke out and took off. From these 2 days here where it did exceed a little bit, it was about 2 weeks. So I'm not surprised at what it's doing right now, with this little pullback. It right now I think we're only down probably, yeah, 8.5%, something like that. So I think the other one was like 17. I mean, if we saw a similar pullback, you'd be down about 61K, something like that. Not saying we're going to get that steep of a pullback, but it's possible. So anyway, like I said, I didn't expect it just to blast through and set a new all-time high this fast. I think it's going to take. It might come up here, try again, and might take a few tries before it finally breaks through. Over the next, who knows, week, 2 weeks. Tomorrow's election day, so that could throw kind of a wrench into things. If who knows what the markets are going to do? If the markets get riled up because of the results, or if we see civil unrest or something, who knows what could happen? It could kind of delay things a little farther if we do see a steeper pullback because the markets are all riled up. There's also the ongoing wars, Middle East, Iran and Israel going back and forth at each other. If something happens there, you could see the markets react negatively. So that's another thing that could possibly delay things. As far as timing on the post-halving bull market in the past, you can see here on this chart, the 2020 post-halving bull market, it was about 149 days after the halving that where it really took off. 2016, it was about 259 days after the halving. And we're at right now, I think as of today, we're about 200 days since the halving on April 19th. So we're right in that ballpark. I think the market's really kind of waiting to see what happens, I think, with the election. And then after that, we should really, unless like I said, unless there's some really civil unrest, things that screw the markets up. I think after that, once things are settled with the election, which hopefully will happen quick and it's not like a prolonged mess. Once there's some certainty one way or the other, I think then we could really see some good things from Bitcoin. This is a long-term price history chart, weekly chart, and this one just kind of shows this is the last two market cycles, which I'm going from bottom to bottom, and just showing the consistency of the last two market cycles, which is pretty crazy to me. You can see this one from bear market bottom to the next bear market bottom was 1,431 days. This one was 1,437. So you're within 6 days, which is, that to me, that's crazy how similar as far as elapsed time they can be. I mean, even if you look between like events here, from like the bottom to the halving, you have 542 days. This next time 513, which even that's to me is really close. This last time, the one we just had, was from the bear market bottom to the halving was 516. So right in that same ballpark again. You can see from like the halving to the peak, 526, 548 for this cycle. From the peak down to the next bear market bottom, 363 days on this one, 376. I mean, really close. The elapsed times are pretty consistent. So basically, from the peak down to the bear market bottom, you're looking at almost exactly 1 year. So these, from this halving to the ultimate peak, which my personal belief is we're still following the 4-year market cycle. So I would expect a peak late 2025, sometime fall, later in 2025. So we'll just have to see what that elapsed time comes out to be. If it's fallen in line with these others, then same thing from the peak down to the next bear market bottom. And this is just a chart here this is a monthly chart showing the entire price history of Bitcoin. And what I've noticed after every peak between the second and third month, after every single peak, this is the stochastic RSI indicator, and it drops below the 20 level, and it does that consistently between the second and third month after the peak. And you can see where we're at right now. We're pretty much at the midpoint, so we're nowhere near down at the bottom here. I'm kind of thinking this may end up looking similar to this one here, where we came down. This was 2019, where we had that first half of the year run up, I think, to almost 14,000 before we got this pretty decent pullback. Well, this, I think, is the COVID. Yeah, right here's the COVID crash. And then it recovered from the COVID dump and really took off like later part of 2020 and especially in 2021 took off. So we got this kind of two humps here. I'm thinking we're going to see something similar here, where after the election and things kind of settle down, Bitcoin is going to take off and we're going to come back up to an ultimate peak. I who knows what we're going to get to. I think if we get to 100K, that would be pretty good. 150, I've heard all kinds of estimates. 200,000, 250, some really, really wild estimates. To me, if we even got to 100, I would think that's pretty good. Anything over that would be great. One thing I worry about, not so much worry, but little concerned, is the trend of diminishing returns that we've seen from one peak to the next. So at one time I had calculated the drop in percentage from one peak to the next, and I kind of calculated out to this peak what we might see, and if we saw the same percentage drop, I think I calculated it out to like 80K or something like that for this peak. But I'm hoping that this cycle we break that trend, and we can get well beyond that. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But looking at the stochastic RSI, this is kind of how I'm analyzing it, that we've got a lot more to go here. But anything's possible, I guess. If we really got a dump here and things took a shit, the markets, who knows, the wars, the election, if things really got ugly, that could drop us down and could mess up this cycle. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. But I'm still positive and bullish on this market cycle. I think it's going to break that trend of diminishing returns, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think that was it on for this update. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to come in and just do a quick one before the election. So let's have to wait and see what results we get tomorrow and the reaction of the markets. Like I said, I hope that it's resolved quick. I think a drawn out election where we don't know the results for weeks or whatever would be really bad for the markets. They don't like uncertainty, so that would I think mess things up pretty bad. So hopefully it's pretty cut and dried and no drama. So anyway, that's all I got. I did want to say that I really appreciated all the boosts and comments from the last video that I did. That was great to see. I love comments, and I appreciate all the boosts and that, and just the views. So anyway, that's all I got for now, and probably do one maybe in another week or so after the election, see what happens. Like I said, hopefully it's not a shit show. So we'll see. Take care, and I'll talk to you in the next video.